Mark Andrews is going to remember that for the rest of his life. Like I know that I'm thinking about like a can jam surviving Barstool shot that I missed. He could have taken his team to the AFC Championship.
All right, it's the rundown brought to you by DraftKings. Don't walk, run, sprint to get to the action right now with our partners at the DraftKings Sportsbook. New customers get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5. You could fade or follow all your favorite Barstool personalities. I would recommend fading. I don't know if anybody's hot out there, but it seems like fading the Barstool picks is usually the way to make money. But there's an official Barstool betting group on the DraftKings Sportsbook app. I know like tens of thousands of people follow along with Dave's parlays. I believe he was knocking on the door of all of them. I don't know if he got any across the goal line, but there's always some big bets with the Barstool betting group, so you don't have to chase down everybody's bets on social media. It's all right there on the DraftKings Sportsbook. Use code RUNDOWN at signup. That's RUNDOWN at the DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours. All right, it's me, Roan, and your boy Nate. Bang, bang, Bird Gang. We'll start with the NFL, of course. The Birds get the job done in a classic snowy playoff game. How you feeling, Ron?
I feel if you had told me coming into the season that the Eagles will be in the NFC Championship, fuck yeah. If you had told me coming into the season that they'd be in the NFC Championship playing against the Commanders for a chance to go to the Super Bowl, fuck yeah. From that point of view, amazing. From the point of view of I actually watched the game, I'm a little bit more nervous than I feel like would warrant just everything on paper. First of all, they didn't look amazing. Second of all, Jalen Hurts hurt and didn't look great without being hurt. And third of all, the Commanders look fucking amazing as well. So I'm cautiously optimistic. On paper, we took last night to celebrate, but it's I guess job's not done. I don't know. I mean, being in the NFC Championship does rule. It's better than the alternative.
Well, on the other side is kind of the exact opposite. I feel like the Dog and Commanders fans are riding high, beating the other team that I think was like riding high and thought it was going to be their year, just snuffing out the Lions. Jaden Daniels looks like he might be like the one, like maybe the best in the league. And they're going for it. They're changing the game. So not only do they win, but they're doing it in an exciting fashion. The Commanders, dude, who had that?
Yeah, it's we've been saying a lot of it's like playing with house money because coming into the season, it was year one of the rebuild. Rookie quarterback, depleted roster, new front office, new GM, new everything. It's like, hey, it's going to take time. The offensive line, not very good. Secondary, non-existent. A lot of stuff like that. One wide receiver, Terry, great. The rest of the guys were like 4s and 5s, practice squad guys on other teams. And just Jaden is so good and he does so much by himself and he's so poised and just almost like a perfect quarterback. And he makes everybody around him better. And he takes a bunch of guys who, I use this analogy, if this was Madden, a bunch of like 65 to 75 overall guys, and he just makes them so much better. And just going into Detroit and laying the smackdown on them, and Ben Johnson getting out coached by Cliff and Dan Quinn just knowing exactly when to go for it on fourth down and trusting his rookie quarterback Jaden is just all coming together. And it's such a fun season to watch and to be a part of. And even Rome, like big diehard Eagles fan, it's really hard to say a bad thing about what the Commanders are doing because it's so fun to watch and they're so likable and it's just enjoyable football. And then the line, there's these two fat guys on Lions Twitter who just yap nonstop about how they're going to send Jaden to the hospital and nobody walks into Detroit and gets out with a win. And they're just all over my timeline getting dunked on.
Well, I mean, listen,
it's great.
If you're a Lions fan,
you're in hell.
That sucks, dude. Like this had to be the year. This had to be the one. They were good. They were exciting. I did Legion of Skanks last Monday. I ran into Josh Adam Myers, who's a comedian outside the stand. He's a big Commanders fan. And he was like just gushing about getting rid of Snyder and finding Jaden Daniels. There's no, like in sports, there's two things that is like the greatest feeling in the world is getting rid of bad owners and finding your franchise quarterback.
It's franchise quarterback. I mean, we saw with Burrow in Cincinnati also. You can go, they went 2-14. Burrow came in immediately good. Jaden came in. There's people who were saying, the experts, like we're a 3-win team. Like this
Yep.
roster, bare bones. Ron Rivera set this team back so far with his drafting. He was taking third round guys in the first round because he liked their character. He liked sound bites about these guys.
Mm.
And he just set this team back so far. And for us to be in the NFC title game in year one.
It does, dude. It doesn't make sense. It literally doesn't make sense. There's no part about the Commanders that are good enough to be in the NFC Championship game outside of Jaden Daniels. Like, he is the only thing that is like transcendent about the team, and he's doing it with like a pretty average defense. No slight to them, but like every other rookie quarterback that has made it this far has had like a top 3 or top 5 defense. He has the 18th ranked defense.
Yeah.
It's preposterous, and he has completely raised all ships. Like, their running back's pretty good. McLaurin is like, he has gotten to a next level this year, but like on paper they should not be this good, but he's like magical, even in a way that like Joe Burrow almost wasn't.
Dude, I saw a stat that was, I know it's a little bit skewed because they are kind of changing the game going forward on fourth down a lot, but he already has more games with no turnovers and no punts than like Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes, like all the greats. It's like he's already doing things that's historic. Have you seen the clip of the Giants GM asking his son? He was like, who should we draft?
You only get this job once.
He goes, just trade up and get Jaden Daniels. You only get one shot at this job. You only get to do it once. Just do it, Dad. And he's like, yeah, whatever.
What's a worse move for their offseason? Not drafting Jaden Daniels or letting Saquon walk. Because those are both
terrible. In the moment, Saquon did make sense. Like, when you're that bad and like, I don't know. In hindsight, it looks terrible. But at the time, a lot of people were like, it's a running back. They have so many more steps to go. They don't have their franchise quarterback anymore. Like, but man, he's out there running for 200 in the playoffs. It's like, he would probably be an MVP candidate if it wasn't like this golden era of quarterbacks. It's brutal for them right now.
A big thing about us winning, and Ron, you're right, it doesn't make sense. It's like our last 5 regular season games all came down to the final seconds, like the Hail Mary, field goal, like crazy drive downfield from Jaden. And then we just take advantage of like tiny mistakes. We did it against the Bucks when they fumbled on that weird reverse fumble, recovery, score. Did it against forcing the Lions to throw 5 picks or 5 turnovers, and JMO throwing the worst pick of all time. It's just like, those things seem to happen for us for some reason. And we're just riding this fucking wave of destiny, like just collecting all the fumbles, collecting all the interceptions at the most opportune times, going for it and converting every fourth down possible. And it's just working out. Like, you can
but you know what?
Genie lamp and wish for better.
I kind of feel that way about like the Chiefs. A lot of people are so down on them when it's like they're at the point where they're just good enough to get the job done, even when it's ugly. The Eagles kind of did it too. All right, what was it? What was the stat? It was like they got, they lost the turnover battle. They lost the yardage battle. They were like the only team ever to win in the postseason while losing all those things. But when you're good, you get it done. I don't know. I don't really care about the stats in the playoffs. You got to just advance and move on. So,
Chiefs win. It's just what they do.
It's like they went
just what they do.
15-2 that last game. They kind of punted, and people are talking about being a down year. And now on the other side of things, they've got another showdown with the Bills. Listen, Lamar Jackson, I don't know whether to pile on like the amount of people who are just saying, well, he overcame 2 touchdowns. That's the phrase I've seen floating around. Nick Wright said it. I saw Meek Phil talking about it. I feel like all over Twitter, they say he overcame 2 turnovers to put his team in a position to win in the end. But the turnovers were his. Like, he turned the ball over.
The interception was bad. The fumble was bad. I love Lamar. I don't know. People want to say it's playoff Lamar. You're playing in the snow. Tiny turnovers happen. I think he's a top 5 quarterback we've ever seen in our life. I'm a huge Lamar guy, but the fumble was really bad.
That's what I mean. Quarterback people are throwing that out there.
I love Lamar. I just think he's so special. Like, I don't know. I mean, Lamar.
Dude, top 5 of all time when like he has not proven it in the playoffs?
Well, so people talk about him like they used to talk about Ovi. He'll never make it out of the first round. He'll never be the best. And he's only 28 years old. Lamar, I still think he has multiple Super Bowls.
Only, bro. You're pretty much smacking the prime of your career, and you're not getting the job done. I mean, like,
he's definitely not.
I would take that. Listen, I know he's amazing, but I'm just saying, to then put him, it's like
he's gotten so much credit. He's gotten so much credit for
So
everything. They
much.
probably are going to give him another MVP this year. They're crowning him for all of his like low turnover numbers during the regular season, but then he has to take responsibility when he's turning the ball over in these massive moments. He was talking before the playoffs like, once I win a Super Bowl, I'm changing my number from 8 to 1. Why are you talking about this before the first round? Like, as if it's a foregone conclusion. To me, he gives me kind of like Dan Marino vibes, where
Yeah.
in the regular season, it's amazing. Like, he'll go down as like a remembered quarterback for being like all time, but he's not in that
I
conversation.
think he's
Not
Aaron
until he
Rodgers
wins
esque
one.
too. Aaron Rodgers
Yeah,
finally got his
yeah.
one. So like
I think, okay, right now, will Lamar win one in his career? Yes or no?
I
I
don't think
still
you
say
can
yes.
say that with what's going on. What you look around the rest of the league, like he's great, but we are back in like another golden era of quarterbacks. There was like a quick lull in between Brady and Manning and Rivers and Eli and Roethlisberger, and now it's right back to like he's going to be playing alongside all these guys till they all retire. It's not like there's going to be a
He has to beat
window.
Burrow every year. He has to beat Josh Allen every year, and he has to beat Patrick
Holmes
Mahomes every year for the next 10 years of his life.
I'll say
just to
this.
get there. You know,
They
like
should change the rule today about MVP voting because you can't have Lamar lose to Josh Allen last night and then still give Lamar the MVP over Josh
tough.
Allen. They need to include this stuff in MVP voting. It should be for the entire season.
How bad of a drop do you put that on David Andrews? I mean, that was
Mark
as
Andrews,
Mark. Yeah,
it
sorry.
shouldn't have it. Lamar shouldn't have been in that situation to begin with. I do blame Lamar for the game, for the interception and the fumble at midfield. It should have
What you
never
mean
come
not
down
running
to
the
that.
ball?
What's that?
I think it's what are you referring to? I think it's insane that they didn't give the ball to Derrick Henry.
Yeah, I'm just saying it should have never come down to Mark
Well,
Andrews having
right,
to
right.
catch
But I'm
that
saying
two
in
point
that
conversion.
specific play, that's up there with not giving the ball to Marshawn Lynch in my mind. The guy, I mean, he was running it down their throats all day long.
Yeah, and what's crazy is that Mark Andrews is going to remember that for the rest of his life. Like I know that I'm thinking about like a can jam surviving Barstool shot that I missed. Like I missed a shot that would have like saved me and had me into a limit. I probably think about it every day. The
Yep.
shot that I missed. What he could have taken his team to the AFC Championship for a rematch against Mahomes. It's not like they would have like automatically won, but he will be 75 years old thinking about that exact moment. Like, why didn't I? And people are trying to blame Lamar that it was a bad pass, that
Yeah.
Lamar's a bad thrower. They
No,
hit
come
him in
on.
his chest.
Come on. It was right there, dude. What do you I saw a clip of Kurt Warner talking about snow games. And he was like, I played in a dome in Arizona and in St. Louis. Like, I cannot physically prepare for those games if I even wanted to. And then your whole season comes down to, a weather affected game. As a fan, I think snow games are like awesome. It's part of football, but I can understand that logic of like you have an amazing season and you're just not a snow team because if you're an indoor team or whatever, it just fucks you.
You're
Look at the
both playing
Rams.
in it.
Like
Yeah.
but the Rams like they haven't practiced in it the entire year. They haven't been conditioned to play in it in like the couple really cold times. And then come the fourth quarter for the Rams, like they had one good drive, but once it really started to snow, they were done. Like they were
Hooked.
completely fucked because you can't even like cut. You can't even make
Mm-hmm.
really good cuts. And that's why I mean you see a lot of the quarterbacks left I guess all four quarterbacks who are left are scrambling quarterbacks. And in a snowy game like that, you being able to pull the ball down and run, like Matthew Stafford doesn't have that same luxury. And you see where it got them.
All right, Ren.
Mm-hmm.
Well, is Jalen Hurts hurt?
Yeah,
That post game was not good. When he was
clearly.
he was like, "Are you hurt?" And he was like, "I finished the game." And she was like, "Are you going to be able to play?" And he was like, "I finished the game." It was like, yikes.
They're going to have to shoot him up with some high grade Hungarian steroids, something rare like a concoction. Throw some ivermectin, bro. I don't care,
Yeah,
dude.
that tiger blood shit. Yeah.
All of it, dude. The deer antlers, everything, because he needs it so badly. There's like kind of a weird level of dysfunction in the passing offense that's kind of getting papered over by the fact that we're winning. But I think that AJ Brown has like 3 catches for 10 yards in the
He's reading his book,
postseason.
bro.
Like,
He's got his motivational book out there.
whatever works. And I guess if Saquon's going to run for 200 yards, you take that. If you can get trophies, you take that, and that will solve everything. But if that's not what happens, you really have to pray that AJ Brown is not TO, and
Mhm.
that like because after the Eagles lost to the Patriots, TO does sit ups in his driveway, and he never like it's never the same again. And I think AJ Brown isn't like that, but you have to really hope and pray that he's not ready to blow it all up because as a stud All Pro receiver, he's not getting the stats that he probably thinks he deserves.
Dude, speaking of TO, we shoot AJ Brown or Jalen Hurts up with whatever they did. Remember when he made it back to that game with like a broken leg like 4 weeks
Yeah,
earlier?
it was
Whatever he
insane.
had,
He
give me
played
it.
the Super Bowl on a broken leg, had like 120 receiving yards. Like what?
Amazing.
We give him that.
Before we move on from NFL, Page Hughes put up $1 million on the Bills to win the Super Bowl. That obviously would fly against you guys. Does this bode well? I mean, he had that hot streak of hitting those big bets. He also missed on a couple though that don't get talked as much about. Are you worried about the Portnoy deal with the Devil and another couple million going his way with Josh Allen and the Bills?
I'm worried, but at the same time, the Bills are the team that I think everybody's okay with winning if it's not them. You know what
Yeah,
I mean? It's
yeah,
not like if it
agreed.
was the Chiefs or something like that, or even the Commanders are flying directly in the face of the Eagles. Now, if the Eagles get there against the Bills, obviously, maybe I need to put another Portnoy curse on him. Maybe I
You're
need
the
to
only one
get
who's
back.
ever was able to defeat him with black magic. By the way, I'm with you. Like Bill's likable. You want Bill's Mafia. Josh Allen deserves it. That post game interview with him, nobody gave us credit.
Yeah.
Everybody doubts us. We don't have talent. I was like, I don't think I've ever heard anybody say that about the Bills. It was basically they're good enough to win it, and it's Super Bowl or bust is what I heard all year. I don't know.
They were saying that the opposite. Like, well, kind of. Like people were saying he should be MVP because he lost talent from last year. So I think that's what he was saying.
Okay, but
But
to
yeah, I
paint
don't think
them as
anybody
like
ever
some
counted the
talentless
Bills out.
underdog,
Yeah.
crazy.
They're
All
probably
right, we'll move
expected to win
on.
everything. Yeah.
We'll move on to the inauguration and whatnot. The rest of the interview, rest of the rundown is brought to you by Reese's. It's Reese's peanut butter cups. I mean, the peanut butter cup is the GOAT. It's right up there with, if that's your number one candy of all time, no one's going to have a problem with it. It's kind of like Josh Allen and the Bills. Everybody loves it. Everybody's okay with it. The peanut butter cups are the perfect combo of chocolate and peanut butter. And it's even better with a layer of gooey, delicious chocolate lava. So they got the Reese's peanut butter cups with the chocolate lava. You can buy Reese's peanut butter cups anywhere. We all know where to find them. We all know where to get them. And they will be featured in the big game. So keep an eye out. It's lava time, baby. Reese's peanut butter cups with lava at the big game. Try Reese's new delicious chocolate lava big cup wherever your candy is sold. Inauguration day. It all kind of rolls into one. We got three topics here. Donald drops the Trump coin. Donald saves TikTok and then hits up the inauguration where we're seeing videos. We have Theo Vaughn with Conor McGregor, the Paul brothers, the Paul mother is there. You got Snoop and Nelly performing. The whole thing feels like a big fever dream. And this all comes on the heels of him saving TikTok after like a 55-minute ban. So he's the hero. The guy who started the ban initially ends the ban. He's the hero. The new generation loves him. And all the while, he's probably scamming people with his new crypto coin. I'm sure I think Dave dropped a quick $500,000 in there, turned it to $1 million, put it on the Bills. So life's good for him. I threw a little bit of cash down and it went well. It went well. So Nate, you're the crypto guy. What do you got on Trump coin?
Yeah, he dropped it overnight and it exploded. It's a meme coin. Dave put out a tweet. He goes, "What's the difference between this and Hawk coin?" And everybody in the replies are like, "It's different. It's different." I don't know.
It's
It's
not.
not that different.
No.
The 80% of the bag is in, the creator's hands and it divests over 3 months, blah, 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 blah. It soared up to 70. Right now it's down 30% on the day at 45.
Well,
There's
once
people who,
Melania dropped hers, it tanked his as well. Because that I
yes,
think people started to feel like, all right, this really is totally bullshit.
all meme coins are bullshit.
Yeah.
It's if you get in and get out at the right times, you can make money. Dave did exactly that. Dave made 500K or a mil over 12 hours, got in, got out. That's the perfect way to do it. I don't think there's much to do about holding a meme coin forever besides to say, hey, it's like Doge. Like, hey, I have 10 million Doge, but what's that really mean? Bitcoin is up a ton though, so thank you,
Well, I
President
was going to
Trump.
say, I do think it signals a bigger, they said he's got a lot of crypto-friendly bills that are going to be passed early in his administration. Him doing this, he's obviously embracing crypto. But the other side of things was the TikTok ban. Are you big on TikTok, Ron?
Yeah, I didn't care that I was losing it. I have like 435 on there or something like that. Like it's a good following. It's the easiest platform to make a following on it, but people were fucking jumping out the window
Bro,
when it
People
people,
went.
were
I mean, it was like,
sobbing, but I
what?
don't blame them. It is their livelihood.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
it is funny that they were sobbing. Then, like 12 hours later, they were all like, "Ooh, I'm embarrassed."
Bro, the notification that came back that said, thanks to the efforts of President Donald Trump, I was like, oh my
Dude,
God, this
he
guy
doesn't
is,
miss, dude. Like he's the
no,
king.
yeah,
It doesn't matter if he wanted to ban it. He doesn't now, so he
yep.
saved it. He does not lose in these situations. He probably called up TikTok and he's like, "Hey, ban it for 24 hours, bring it back, write
Oh,
my
right on
name.
the
I
heels
got
of my
you."
inauguration, right? Yeah, of course. Like,
Dude. And now he's renaming Gulf of Mexico Gulf America.
yep.
He's just the king. I don't know what else to say about him.
You guys think that this 4 years is going to be as wild as his first 4 years? Because I feel like his first 4 years was the internet was the biggest battlefield that has like ever existed, and I think the internet overflowed into real life, and
Mhm.
like there were people like in the streets and they were like charged up about things, and I think that he was kind of the center of the flow chart of all that. Do you think that it's going to be that level of divisive explosiveness, or do you think that people went through it the first time and were like, oh, it wasn't actually that bad, or do you think people just don't give a fuck anymore?
I think people
I
are too
can't be
tired.
what it was. I think it was. I don't think like the world has learned or grown or matured or any of that. I just think it's like it was at a fever pitch. People were convinced, it was going to be like the end of society, and once you realize it's not, and your life kind of goes on, I think people do calm down a little bit. But I think it'll still be a war out there. But it is. It's like, yeah, it's a good point. Like whoever's next, if he leaves office, like can't possibly keep rallying the people to a fever pitch like this. So at some point it has to calm back down. But I don't, the internet is always going to be a shitty hellhole. But I don't think anything will top like 2018-ish was when it was just like, holy fucking shit.
I'm curious what happens to him as like a guy, because I feel like sometimes his divisive like rhetoric is like it's like used to drum up his base, because in some ways he was always running for another election and always wanted to
Right.
be president again, and now he's like effectively starting today is already like a lame duck president. Like he doesn't need to get elected again. It's not like there's a certain amount of like but no, well, not elected, definitely.
Elected.
But
Listen, he's either going to force his way in but it's not going to be another, popularity contest to win.
so it's like, what is he? Who does he need to placate, or who does he need to make like happy? Does he have to like satisfy a base in any way? Can he just do whatever the fuck he wants? Like I saw he was going to declassify a lot of the Kennedy assassination
Yep. He's
stuff.
going to
Like,
give the
can
people
he
what they
just kind of
want.
let it fly with that?
Like if you buy Greenland, if you turn the Gulf of Mexico to the
Forgot
Gulf
about
of
that.
He's creating the external revenue service, which people love. They're like, I don't want to get taxed by the internal revenue service. We're gonna send it out to the external. He's just marketing. He's just rebranding
Bro, as
everything.
long as my eggs go down in price, I don't care what he does. I'm
He
tired
just
of
said he
paying for
wants to put
eggs.
a. He just said he wants to put a flag in Mars. He's trying to put the American
But
flag on
this is like
Mars.
he's playing fantasy sports with the presidency. It's like doing the goofy shit. Listen, eggs down, crypto up, Nate. That's the fucking motto. Let's go.
Let's go.
Um,
JT.
we also, what else do we have? Caitlin Clark was kicking it with Taylor Swift at the Chiefs game. She's a lifelong Chiefs fan. Great picture of her after the game with all of the Chiefs. Looked like a scene out of Blacked. But this was also the
Jesus,
weekend
Kevin.
that the unrivaled league started that she turned down for $1 million. So she should have been playing in that this weekend. Instead, she was just kicking it with Taylor. What are your thoughts on her skipping that and kicking it with the Queen Bee?
Getting the call from Taylor must be like something out of a superhero movie. It's like she wants you, Caitlin.
Mm,
Like you're now part of the posse. And they at first in the box they were in two different seats, and then at halftime they were sitting next to each other. I just think it's like Captain America being like, bring Caitlyn over.
I'll be honest though, Caitlin's up there, dude. She's no fucking slouch. I know TSwift's on a whole other level, but she's not like some bum she's picking out of the crowd. She's
But
probably
it's
the
like
other
Mean
most
Girls,
popular
dude.
girl in the
Like
world.
she pushed the fat girl away, and she's like, now Caitlyn's my number two. Like I don't know who's in Taylor's crew at this point, but like, did Gigi Hadid drop out so Caitlyn can come in?
Yeah.
Like it's a big call from the bullpen when you become Taylor's number two.
What do you got, Ro?
Taylor collects. She collects women.
Yeah,
Like
it's her
100%.
Infinity Stones.
She just like collects like what have the woman du jour. But you know who else I saw in that box? I saw Tommy Alter in that box.
Who's that?
What?
The dude, you know Tommy Alter, the dude who had the podcast with JJ Redick.
Oh yeah. What's
He
doing
was
in
sitting
there?
He was sitting behind Taylor Swift. I was like, what? At first I thought she just collects like women and gays, but I guess she's collecting straight dudes now too. I
elect women and gays. That's fucking hilarious.
But yeah, congratulations to Caitlin Clark. I'd rather be watching a football game than playing another basketball league.
Bro, I made a video about it, and some people were like, "Why are you shitting on like women for trying something?" I'm like, they're already trying it with the WNBA. You don't get to start a second league when your first one is like just maybe starting to be successful. Focus the fuck on that.
What if
Jaden
Jaden Daniels
Angel
played
Reese
in
is
the
in right
XFL?
now?
Yeah, right. It's like you focus on the real one, and then when you retire or if you're an actual rival, but it's made by WNBA players, and it's like now you're kind of splitting. It's almost like splitting the vote. It's like what? Focus on one.
But you can play them both, right?
Yes, but and
Here's
they're
the
off
thing,
season,
Kevin.
but it's just like
Kevin, they get paid $55,000 a year. They have to do something.
But that's
Like-
my point. Is like the first league's not really working.
Yeah, that's why they need two. They need all the sources of income.
Yeah, so I mean, it's a whole different set of rules. It's 3-on-3. There's they play to a certain point, smaller court, a whole bunch of different things that maybe will be different. But
Kevin,
I don't
wait,
know.
real quick, smaller court. So, Kevin, you coach or you have a son and a daughter, and they both play basketball. They're both very tiny. The fact that they play on full-size hoops, every time you post a score, it's like 8-6, and there's 3'5" little kids shooting at the highest hoop. They can't even lift the ball over their head. Why don't they play on smaller hoops?
I don't know, man. I was told that this league that my son was supposed to be playing in was 8 foot this year. We show up, it's not 10 foot. It's terrible. Every score is like the other day. It was like 5-1. It was like a baseball score at a basketball game. I mean,
and they have him playing 40 minutes.
Yeah, my son plays 10-minute quarters, bro. 10 minutes. LeBron James was in high school playing 8-minute quarters. He played, and they went to overtime. We had 5 kids, 10-minute quarters. We had no subs. The idea behind the 10 minutes is like if you have an A team and a B team, everybody gets to play 5 minutes. We had no subs. My guys out there, they played 42 minutes. They were gassed. We forced them to overtime. We almost won the game. And I'm sitting there going, my son was exhausted from heaving the ball up and running around for a full NBA game. It was madness, dude.
What? Are they just trying to tire him out?
I get honestly they went right the fuck to sleep that night. So maybe it's a good thing.
Yeah.
I think that's all we got, right? Dave just lost 200K on Melania coin. You deserve
already.
You deserve. If you put big money in the Melania coin, I'm sorry, you deserve to lose it on that one. There's also this picture from the inauguration of Zuck, Big Daddy Zuck. It looks like he got caught taking a peek at Bezos's wife, kind of peeking down her shirt. Tough spot for him. I'm sure he was just kind of looking around, but the internet gets that screen grab, and
Zuck last second trying to pivot to conservative was.
I almost applaud it. It's such a grift. It's so like, well, we lost, and now like the other guy is in power, so we're gonna just go with that because that's what the people want. That was an all-time pivot, man.
Yeah,
he thought he was going to get reels. He thought that he was like Instagram was going to pop off, TikTok would be gone. He'd cozy up to Trump, and he'd be able to just slide in there like that. Yep. There's no do you remember when Gilly and Rick Ross went back and forth, and Gilly was like, "There's no amount of money that can unlame a person." Basically, was what he said. He used the N-word in there too. But like that's basically Zuckerberg. Like there's no amount of money that could unlame him. Like he's trying. It's impossible.
He's bulked up. He's doing jujitsu. He's got
a Rogan
hair. Yep. But it's like, nah, you'll just always be Zuck, man.
Can't get unlamed, bro.
Yep. That's a great call, man. Once you're lame, you're lame. That's why I'm fucked. Anything else? Barstool World.
No more surviving Barstool, so we can, nature can heal finally. It's been 8 months, so now people can get back to normal.
Bro, that thing is a bloodbath. If you look through the wreckage of that, all the shit most of the contestants had to go through, that prize money has to be at least $1 million to go through that shit, man. That is a motherfucking nightmare. And I know people are like, this is tone deaf and it's just a game and it's just entertainment. Like, no, the fuck it's not. It might be that for the viewers, but everybody who plays, it's like, this is the culmination of my career. This is symbolic of the fight I had with this coworker. This is, we had it all. People getting secrets outed, people fucking fighting with relationships, gender drama. I mean, we had it all. It is not a fun time. It's not a game, dude.
Would you do it again?
I mean, I would, because I just do anything I'm asked to do, right? But like, I truly, legitimately feel like at Barstool, there are like the fan favorites and the popular people, and then you're on the other side. And if you're on the other side, they will hate you. You could win, you can backstab, you could play a great game. The people will hate you. And it's kind of bad for business to be like, yeah, now, like, okay, maybe I won, maybe I made it to the finals, whatever, but everybody hates me. That would not be a great business move for certain people.
I would say everybody already hates me, so sign me up.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean, though. It's just like if you're already hated and you go in there, you're not winning everybody over.
Or if you're Kirk and you're just like, I'm crazy and it doesn't matter because my crazy fans will still love me and the people who don't love me will still not love me. Like, Kirk actually is in the best spot where he can take
he's
anything he wants and his fans love him, and he's not trying to get new fans. So he's not trying to be likable. Kirk is
he's kind of the only one who's like bulletproof to it. It's either, you're a fan favorite and people will love you, or they hate you and they will really fucking hate you afterwards. But, if I get invited, you have to, you can't be the guy who's like, no, but right. I won't be excited about it like I was the first time after seeing this bloodbath. Holy shit.
Sign me up. Can't get much worse.
Did we lose Ron?
Yeah, he dropped off.
Okay.
His computer died.
All right. All good. That's the rundown. See you guys.